This is SQPN, the Starquest production network, leading the way.
You're listening to Catholic Weekend, episode number 235 for the week ending August 16th, 2014. Good morning and welcome to Catholic Weekend. I'm
your captain. I'm your
captain, and I'm feeling...
So I'm feeling mighty sick.
I am, and you know why? I'm feeling mighty sick because... Okay, you're supposed to stop. There we go. Because people keep dropping off this call. But here, let's start with my co-host in Oklahoma, Steve Nelson.
Hello, everybody. It's good to be here again. As always, I enjoy this. It's the highlight of my Saturday.
Oh, you lie. You lie. Well, you know what? You know what's really odd is that Steve is usually the one that has the problem staying on the call or the
I know.
hangout, and you're rock solid this morning.
Well, I boxed up the gremlins and mailed them to you last week.
You must have. Okay, let's see. And I was going to play this one for our guest in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in the Star Wars Lounge. Stephanie Zimmer.
Hello.
Hello, Stephanie. Nice that you could join us this morning. Okay, that's going to fade out. And then finally, we have representing the western United States, or the Rocky Mountain states,
There's a rodeo
Father Corey.
Well, good morning. I'm kind of almost becoming a regular here. This is scary, 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, we might have to get you like a regular spot here or something.
There you go.
I'm going to send you one of the Catholic Weekend mugs as soon as he sends them to everybody else.
Hey.
Uh-oh.
Okay, yeah, I know. Lynn's bugging me for that, and all the my airline pilot guy thing. Everybody's, when are we going to get the mugs? I'm thinking, I don't have time to do this. All right, so that should have stopped, and now I'm over here. Okay, so how are you all this morning? Don't all speak up.
Doing pretty well. Doing pretty well. I, talking about mountain states, yesterday, some friends invited me down to the town of Zortman, which is about 40 miles south of here, and it's in the middle of the Little Rocky Mountains. It's this little chain. It's not very big, maybe 100, 200 square miles, but it's a beautiful mountain area. We went out to a campground and grilled some steaks and sat and visited and kind of drove around that little area and got rained out. Thunderstorms roll in, but it was always fun to go down to visit and get to see a little of the natural scenery. And it's one nice thing about living in Montana. We have lots of it.
So, what was the name of the town?
Zortman. Zortman.
That kind of sounds where the character Mork might be from.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah.
Mork and Mindy, of course, the awesome, very talented actor Robin Williams, comedian, died since we had our last show. Unfortunately, he's left us, and that was sad, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
He was. What I really liked about him was just his improbability. How you just never knew what he was going to come up with.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
But
sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse, though. Too. I mean, sometimes he could go off the rails pretty quick.
Well, that's true. But there always seem to be something a little sort of melancholy about him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. Some of the best things that he was in were the non-comedic roles, like the more serious roles.
Mm.
That's true with a lot of comic actors. I think that some of the best movies are the ones that they play more serious roles. The one that comes to mind is the one that doesn't come to mind.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, Steve Martin. For me, that's a good example.
Which one?
Steve Martin.
Oh yeah.
In some of his more serious roles in movies.
Yep, exactly.
But anyway, Stephanie, let's hear from you. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
You had to think about it, didn't you?
It was kind of a mild summer for us in Wisconsin. Hasn't been extremely hot except for a couple days, but it's been pretty good.
Good. So tell us about we can talk about that at the end of the show when we wrap up, but I'm looking at your lower third there, and you do the TV Rewind podcast. How's that going? Is that still going on strong?
It's going strong. Episode 187, 84 tomorrow.
Wow. You're in your almost getting close to 200 episodes. Obviously it's doing very well. That's cool. Okay. Let's see. So, what did you think about the sudden loss of Robin Williams this past week, Steph?
I was very shocked by it. Of course, I think everybody pretty much was. And to find out the details of things that were going on in his life as the days went on. Yesterday it was revealed by his wife that he was dealing with early onset Parkinson's, which can cause depression, and I know he was dealing with that as well. And then to find out that he did kill himself by hanging himself with a belt, that was just really, really shocking.
Yeah, that is shocking. My mom suffers from Parkinson's, and one of the things I didn't realize, when I first remember hearing about Parkinson's was, like you get some people exhibit the tremors, the shakes and that kind of thing, and I thought that it was just a physical thing, but there's a big mental component of Parkinson's that I quickly found out when my mom got it, and that is actually, I think, worse than the physical manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I'm wondering, they use a lot of different types of drugs to treat the mental aspect of the disease, and I'm wondering if that somehow contributed to his state of being, that decided that it was better just to end his life than to try to endure whatever he was going through, which is sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that whole topic of depression is, one that I don't know how to talk about, just because I can't put myself in their place,
Exactly.
and to understand how people get to, make certain decisions. I don't understand it. So I'm really kind of reluctant to talk about it, just because I don't know how to. I don't know.
Well, I'm getting depressed just listening to you. Just kidding. Yeah, you're right. I don't think I've ever really experienced depression. That the way that some people do, and that feeling of helplessness, of despair that you can't seem to snap out of, and I think it's really unusual for somebody that, anytime anybody mentions a name like Robin Williams, it's like you just start smiling and laughing because thinking about how funny he is, and how much he wanted other people to laugh. And how he wanted to please other people, and all this time he's suffering this little personal hell.
Exactly.
Well, let's move on with something more positive then, less depressing. And actually, I really have no idea what we're going to talk about on today's show. I didn't do any prep work, which is usual for me. But anything going on in the no, I don't want to talk about that because that's depressing too.
No, let's talk about Pope Francis in Korea.
Oh, let's do that. What do you?
Yeah.
What about that, Steve?
Well, he's making I think a 5-day trip, to South Korea, and I haven't been able to follow a lot of what he's doing. I mean, I know that he had a mass, I think yesterday maybe, for about 50,000 people. But he just seems to be welcomed by a lot of people, and as he always does. And I don't know, I think it's great because I don't think many popes have gone to Asia before.
Yeah, I can't remember any of our recent popes going to someplace like Japan or Korea or something like that. I honestly I don't. Most of the visits I remember are places, well, Europe, North and South America, some African visits. But yeah, I think this is the first time in a very long time that a pope has visited uh, that region of the
Right.
world.
I think, well, John Paul II was in the Philippines,
Mm.
and they say that was like one of the largest gatherings of humanity ever. Some
Which wouldn't
enormous
surprise me.
number, millions and millions of people all in one place. Which is, I think the Philippines is considered part of Asia, but as far as the Orient, what we would call maybe,
Yeah.
Korea, I don't remember. I don't know. But I think it's fantastic because Christianity seems to be growing in that region of the world, and to have him go there and show his support, I think it's only going to have a great benefits.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree with you. I've been just seeing some of the videos and stuff, and it really looks like the response from the people of South Korea has been incredible. I laugh at North Korea deciding to do a missile test to kind of show their might while he was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the point of that? What are they? Oh, I'm scared. I'm going to go home now. You know?
It's North Korea. They're looking for any publicity they can get from those evil capitalist pigs in the West.
I thought that was funny. It's like, okay, you're going to come over here. Okay, well, I'm going to shoot off these 5 missiles into the water.
Yeah.
That'll teach you.
Or like, hey, we're still here. Just don't forget us.
Yeah.
We matter.
Yeah, looking at the Catholic News Agency, it said that the Pope beatifies 124 Korean martyrs, praising their witness to Christ.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Let's see. This was August 15th on Saturday. Well, today's the 16th. Well, anyway.
Well, there's a day change between here.
Yeah. But I think the 15th is Saturday, or 16th is Saturday all around the world.
Yes. It is.
I guess the person writing the article was probably still on the 15th, and it was the 16th. I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was timestamped the 15th over here, but it was Saturday over there. Who knows?
Exactly. Korean Christianity dates back to the 18th century when Korean scholars heard about the spread of the faith in China. They traveled to China to study the Christianity under Jesuit missionaries. And I think Father Roderick's grandfather, wasn't he a Jesuit missionary? I think he was some kind of a missionary. Remember that Father Roderick took that trip over to China and learned a lot about his grandfather.
He took his mother back to visit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Great story. So, let's see. All of them lived and died for Christ, and now they reign with him in joy and in glory, the Pope said.
Wonderful.
Mass at Seoul's Gwanggaemun Gate. I'm not sure.
No.
I think that's one. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Fargo, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think we don't realize in the West how persecuted Christianity really was in some of these countries. Again, China, Japan, Korea, that it was brutally attacked.
Yes.
Wasn't St. Francis Xavier was a missionary to that part of the world, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Japan, and he wanted to go to China. I think he died just as he reached the shore, something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but.
And St. Maximilian Kolbe, wasn't he a missionary?
Yeah,
as well?
in China.
Yeah.
I think it was
Japan. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
the Immaculata, Knights of the Immaculata, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We often forget that aspect of his life, and concentrate on his martyrdom, but he spent a lot of years as a missionary.
Mm-hmm. He did. And he was into new media, too, I think. His evangelization involved many, well, it was kind of new back then, but he was, I think that he'd be right at home at SQPN if he were alive today.
Absolutely.
He was doing a podcast back in the 1930s?
Yeah, I think it was, it was right before iTunes version 1.
Oh, okay. That's right. I didn't know podcasts exist until iTunes came out.
Yeah, but they came on vinyl. You had to ship out vinyl for everybody.
Right.
And you only had one take. There was no restarts.
Right.
And you had to use that stupid iRiver MP3 player, which was, couldn't really count on that. Do you guys remember that? The iRiver
Yeah. Yeah.
MP3 player. All right.
Yeah, well, it came out about the same time as the first iPod, and it was like, yeah, no, that's not, no.
Actually, it was around quite a bit before the iPod. But
Was it? Oh, I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah, iPod came out and basically said, that was Apple's way of saying, okay, all of you people out there, with these portable MP3 players, let's us show you how this should work.
Exactly. Exactly.
Owned.
Yep.
Blew them out of the water. So, anyway, yeah, I used to listen to podcasts before there was a such thing as a podcast. I was listening to internet. Oh, remember Real Audio?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
What a pain.
Yeah.
And I would actually take Real Audio and I would use this thing that captured the audio on the card. I think it was called Total Recorder on the Windows side, and would record anything that was going through the music card, and then I would convert them to MP3 so that I could listen to them on some kind of an old MP3 player before the iPod came out. Wow,
That was a lot of work.
oh, you kids!
Yeah.
What's funny is our local radio station, for their local broadcast, they'll broadcast the high school games. They, up until about a year ago, still used Real Player as the
Really?
format. And it's like, are you kidding me?
I mean, I hated that.
Oh, it was bad.
So that was like Windows 95 era, right? And
Oh yeah, when the internet really first started opening up commercial, because Real Player was one of the first audio streaming formats available.
Mhm.
I mean, it really was revolutionary when it came out, but it didn't go anywhere after that. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, I think they've kind of rested on their laurels, and everybody just went blasting by them.
Yep.
yeah.
And it was, I think, mainly because they wanted to keep everything proprietary, and they didn't. It wasn't open.
Pretty much.
So
Long before the open source days.
yeah, Stephanie, what was your first experience, your early experience with audio, like digital audio?
Well, when I got my first iPod, I think that was probably 2006.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started looking for, and then I figured out what iTunes was and looking for various things and stumbled upon Secrets of Narnia. That was my first show for SQPN, and that was the bullet.
Wow.
Screen.
So your gateway drug wasn't the Rosary Army or
The Break or Daily Breakfast,
Daily Breakfast,
or
yeah.
even Catholic Insider.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that was mine. Catholic Insider and Rosary Army.
Nice.
Catholic Insider. Yeah.
And that led to Daily Breakfast and all the other shows after that.
Well, that's pretty cool. Because that's the whole point of Father Roderick doing those shows like that was to introduce people to other things.
Exactly.
You're a success.
All right.
And did you, Stephanie, a lot of people that got into podcasting, the way they normally get into it is they end up sending audio feedback to somebody's podcast. Did you do that before you started your podcast?
Oh no.
No?
No. I'm usually a podcast lurker.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm not too good about sending feedback.
It seems like at least 90% of the people that I talk to who have their own podcast now started by sending in their own audio feedback to a show or shows. And then after doing that a little bit, they're going, I kind of like this. I'm going to try a podcast on my own.
I can still remember the first time I did that. I called Greg and Jennifer and was like, this is Steve, and I just wanted to say how much I love your show, and I make rosaries every day now. And it was pretty much like that. I had that little quiver in my voice.
Oh yeah. So nervous.
And what has changed? No, I'm just kidding.
I just do it all the time.
Yeah. The bad part when you do audio feedback like that, if you're a perfectionist, at least now they've got the recordings where you can delete the recording and start over.
Yeah.
So you record it. No, I didn't like that. Delete key. Go back. Try this again. Delete. No. Five times, 6 times.
I think the first podcast I recorded with the college students, I took 4 hours to edit it, taking all the little ums and things. I did that once, and I said, no, I'm not doing that again.
I think we all do that. You want it to be perfect, and it takes you hours of editing to edit out all the things you don't want people to hear. Then after a while, you go, okay, forget it.
Yeah,
they're going to take me as I am.
And that's why this is done live, right?
Right. Yeah, we've come a long way in our technology to, now we're using a free service by Google, Hangouts, and we have video. And for some reason, I'm not. Are you guys receiving Father Corey's video?
You're not seeing me?
No, I'm not.
We hear you fine, but not seeing your video.
No,
interesting.
But we've been hearing you just fine. But anyway, we have for most of us video. Oh, there he is.
There, I just readjusted my bandwidth usage real quick, and that fixed it.
Yeah, sure did. Yeah. Okay. So we have you can see our faces, and we're broadcasting live, and anybody that has an internet connection anywhere in this world, and perhaps maybe even outside this world, I don't know, are watching. It's just can you imagine this? Back in 2006.
Oh wow.
The idea.
Yes. I remember like when EWTN first started streaming their video, and boy, that was probably about the year 2000 or so. It seems like a while ago, but then again, like you said, even 5-10 years ago, would we have ever thought that being able to do the live video, just like this, sit down and do this? You could do Skype, but even that was pretty limited back then.
Right. I think if anybody had said, yeah, we're going to do this live with no editing back in 2006, I would have said, there's no way I'm going to do that. I don't want to be on a camera. I don't. I still say that every Saturday. I'm like, oh, man, do I have to get in front of that camera?
I want to do that. Apparently, that's the way Maria and Sarah and Angela feel this morning. Actually, Angela's on an extended break, and Sarah just returned this morning from Brazil, and she is going to try to join us, but she said, I'm tired, I'm going to crash on the sofa. So,
well, thankfully she had I guess a less eventful trip coming home than she had getting there.
Oh geez, yeah.
I think she flight was canceled twice or 3 times before she got rerouted.
Was it last weekend when she was trying to go? I think Saturday night.
Yeah.
She last weekend here in Atlanta we had very, very bad weather. A lot of severe storms, which really messed up the Delta schedule. And then we started running into a problem with crews running out of duty day and not having enough air crews available to fly all the different flights. And so I think that they were missing one of the first officers that had to fly the flight down to Brazil, and so they had to cancel the flight. And
so she ended up flying into, what was it, LaGuardia, and then had to catch a shuttle to JFK, or the other way around. I can't remember which way it was, but she had to fly to New York and shuttle to the other airport, and then finally could get to Brazil.
I think you're right. She flew up to LaGuardia, then shuttled over to Kennedy, because Kennedy is our international gateway, and then she went from there down to Brazil. So, well, I look forward to hearing from Sarah when she gets back. I guess maybe next Saturday morning we can hear about her trip to Brazal.
I'm sure she'll be able to tell it much better than we did.
Watching her Twitter feed, it sounds like she had a great trip. She didn't talk too much about the actual meetings and stuff she was in, but she talked about some of the food and the drink that she had and was really enjoying that. And it sounded like she had a lot of fun even when it was a working trip.
Makes me want to travel. I'm ready to get on a plane.
I hear ya.
Well, where do you want to travel to?
Well, next January, I'm planning to go to the Cayman Islands for a few days.
Oh.
Some friends of mine are out there. They're teaching at an international school down there for 2 years, and I want to go down and visit them, because John, the husband of the family, he came to Papua New Guinea and visited me, and so I feel like I owe him, It's going to be tough going to the Caribbean in January.
Oh, darn.
What a problem to have.
But other than that, I'm just, I want to go to Rome and I want to go to the Holy Land. Those are the I love going to Rome. I could do that every year, but the Holy Land is at the top of the list. But
Oh yeah.
I always seem to get diverted from that because of trouble.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't blame you. I honestly, I spent 2.5 months over in the Holy Land with our seminary, which was incredible. To live there for 2.5 months was fantastic. And it was safe. I mean, there was like one day where there was a missile flying, or one of those rockets flew and it hit the southern part of Israel, but didn't feel unsafe at all. Felt completely safe. Felt no risks whatsoever. Right now, with everything going on in Gaza, I don't know if I would say the same thing.
Right.
Especially with the issues like they're getting rockets to hit near the Tel Aviv airport. Yeah, I can understand why the U.S. a couple of weeks ago said, "Nah, you're not going to fly over there right now."
Right.
But
Right.
no, I mean, other than that, when this cools down, whenever that'll be, it is reasonably safe over there. It really is.
That's what I've heard. I've heard people say that before, and I'm gonna make it one day, but I'm just trying to. Everything has to align at the right time,
Mhm.
and I want to go with the right people. I want to go with people that can make an experience that's not just a tourist experience.
Yeah.
I want to go with people that can appreciate it. They'll help me appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, that's the tough part. We would see, again, we lived in Bethlehem for a month. So we stayed there and we would, we'd walk around, we'd walk down the market and get food and all that kind of stuff. And we'd see these tour buses come in, they'd hit the Church of the Nativity, they'd hit the Olive Wood place, maybe they'd have a lunch set up at a restaurant, and they'd be gone. 2 hours, and that's all of Bethlehem they ever saw. And it's like, that they didn't get to see any of the city. They didn't get to know the people. They didn't really get to see the culture.
And that's what I've been seeing in some of the tour groups that I've looked at. They're Catholic tour groups, and they got wonderful people going on them, but they're so fast that I really want to be able to get a sense of the place.
They want to show you the entire country in a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd rather just go and just concentrate on one area and spend a few days or a week there, and then maybe some other time in the future go back to a different area. And
exactly. That'd be the way to do it.
Yeah.
So when are you taking me, Father Corey?
Let's start planning. Now let's hear now. 2 summers from now I can, because I'm going to World Youth Day. Yay, I can't wait.
And where is it going to be?
Poland.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I love Poland.
Yeah, and my diocese is making a trip out of it too, where it's 2 weeks. Go through, fly into southern Germany, fly into Munich, and go across the Czech Republic and see some sites there, and then go up into Poland, and of course go see Auschwitz and places like that. And yeah, so we're going to make a real trip out of it. I'm looking forward to it.
Auschwitz, what a heart-wrenching place.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't have any idea of what happened there, you could feel it in the place.
I can imagine.
It's
I can imagine.
palpable. It's remarkable how palpable it is.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it only, of course, because of St. Maximilian, but also just because of the historical significance.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I'd like to go there sometime myself.
Really? I need to start looking into hooking up with a parish so I can go be a what do you call it? A chaperone or something.
There you go.
Well, I don't know if you guys can hear that music coming up in the background. We're going to take a little bit of a break here and talk about the Starquest Production Network and how you can help us with the efforts that we are undertaking in the new evangelization. And what are we doing? Well, we're doing shows like this and other great programming such as The Break and The Geek Priest and all of our Secrets series, and then we have a whole bunch of great affiliate podcasts as well. And you can check them all out by heading over to sqpn.com. And if you'd like to help us with your financial support, you can become a friend of SQPN. And you can do that by heading over, again, to sqpn.com and just look for that little area of the site that says Become a Friend of SQPN. And a monthly donation is easy to set up, and it really, really helps us. So, and if you want to help us in other ways, besides praying for us, of course, is if you do any kind of digital online shopping like Amazon.com, you can click on the Amazon banner and or sign up for the Smile program. SQPN is one of the participants of that, and then every time that you make a purchase on Amazon, your a part of that purchase will go to the network, and it's a nice, easy way to help our efforts in the new evangelization. And finally, if you're looking for a website to host your podcast or your blog or photo site, or you want to sell coffee mugs, let's say, something like that, you can start your own website easily. One-click installation of a WordPress blog or whatever type of content management system you want to install over at Bluehost. So head over to SQPN.com/Bluehost, or look for the Bluehost banner on our website, and again, that'll help out the Starquest Production Network. So thanks again for all of you who have been contributing for so long, and we do appreciate it. And why are you laughing, Miss Stephanie?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Was there something particularly funny about the way that I presented that?
No.
It's your face.
Shut up. Oh, it's funny. We're still not getting your video, Father. So
That's weird.
Adjust that. Just every time you start talking, it's just black. Usually, you have like a little face, or like your little avatar or something when you're talking.
Right.
And there's no video, but it just goes completely black, at least on my window.
That's really weird because my camera's on and everything.
Yeah, okay. We just saw you for a moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna set my bandwidth to low and see if that keeps it at least on.
Okay.
I had it on automatic, but I've got it set down a level. Is it working now?
Oh, I actually see your mouth moving. Wow.
Hey, that's cool.
I suspect Google's having some problems this morning.
I think so. Yeah, I've had them on this end, and I think we're all having problems.
Well,
probably better if you don't see me. But, no.
Rather not go into it right now, though, on there.
It's probably better you don't see me, but that's all right. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, go back to the other setting you had, Father.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so what else is new besides the loss of Robin Williams and all the mayhem going on over in other parts of this world, like, people shooting missiles at each other, and the mess in Iraq with with ISIS and everything else? Oh, and then we have here in our country all kinds of racial problems in Ferguson, Missouri, and that's gaining a lot of the bandwidth of news.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm flying my baseball team colors, but the reason why I am a St. Louis fan is because I lived there for 6 years. I lived in the St. Louis area. That was my Air Force duty station, was right outside of St. Louis, about 20 miles from downtown, actually. And so I'm very familiar with the St. Louis area. And when I was working as a civilian computer guy, I was actually working for a company on the west end of St. Louis. I lived on the east end, and I would drive through Ferguson on I-270 every day. So I'm kind of sort of familiar with that area. I didn't really do a lot in there because it was just traveling through on the interstate, but it's hard to see these areas where it just blows up, and it just, it explodes, and it's a lot of it is frustration. A lot of it is anger at how they perceive or are being treated. Sometimes it is legitimate grievances, legitimate problems. But it's still kind of hard to see people just, they see something like this happens and they see their only response is to just go violent.
Yeah, I agree with what you said, Father, but I've never understood why looting seems to be an acceptable behavior.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Oh, we're real upset. Let's go burn the Quick Trip.
Yeah. Or hey, let's celebrate our baseball or basketball team's win by starting businesses on fire and turning things over. I mean, people do that when they're celebrating things as well, in addition to being upset about something. I don't get it.
Well, it's those crowd. You hear about crowd dynamics, and as individuals, they probably would never do it. They probably would never even consider going into the quick trip and busting the place up and burning it down. Probably would never consider turning over a car. Heck, as an individual, they probably couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But you get a group of 100 or 200, and someone accidentally throws a rock that breaks a window, and that was fun.
Yeah. Thankfully, I've never been around anything like that. It's still one of those things. I hope I wouldn't react that way if I were in the middle of it. I don't know.
Have you ever noticed that things really start, these kind of things really start happening, not only on that little micro level, but also, world conflicts and everything else toward the end of summer? Does that, the hot weather and everything else finally
dog days of summer?
Yeah, it gets under your skin, and I can't take it anymore. Let's get some cool air in and cool everything off in this world.
Yeah.
Well, it's only summer in the northern hemisphere, Jeff.
I know. It's the only hemisphere that counts in my book. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Now we're going to get the hate mail from down under.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's kind of like, on Tool Time. And letters can be written to...
Yeah.
Please send your emails to complaints@sqpn.com.
Exactly.
If it bounces back because we don't have that email address, I'm sorry.
You don't need to tell them that. Or how about Steve at... no, just kidding. Yeah. I haven't checked our email feedback line lately. I don't think we've received anything. Have we?
I don't know.
You're on the list.
I'm on the list. No, we haven't got anything lately.
Yeah. Oh, well.
It's been very quiet. We must really just be boring people to death, or they're just kind of staring slack-jawed, going, I can't believe.
Well, actually, nobody's listening, so that's probably a big part of the problem.
Those who are tuning in, and let's see how bad the train wreck is this week, right?
It's kind of like driving along and you're seeing an accident on the road, and you just have to stop and slow down and take a look. That's what people are doing right now. Slowing down, taking a look to see this train wreck. See if we know that person.
Exactly.
So Stephanie, tell us a little bit more about your podcast, the TV Rewind podcast. Now, you started out doing that as a co-host, right? But now you're doing it single-handedly, or are you still doing a shared kind of hosting on that show?
I'm solo for the most part. I actually started the podcast with somebody that I met through SQPN back in 2010 after attending the Boston CNMC, learning things about podcasting. So we did that together for about a year, and then he decided he was not able to do it because of work conflicts, so I continued the show by myself. But in the midst of a guest host extravaganza this summer, having different people on every week, so that's the third summer in the row I've done that, and I probably will do that again later on, other times in the year, because it's pretty popular. People like it.
And for those who have not listened to your podcast, shame on you. What kind of thing can we expect to hear on your show? What do you talk about?
Well, if they listen to this show, they don't necessarily have the same connection to my show because it's not Catholic at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a secular TV podcast. Talk about news from the past week and lots of stuff out there this week, of course, with all the celebrity deaths that have happened this week, and lots of other stuff ramping up towards the fall season. And then I review a couple of shows that I watched in the last week, give a recap and thoughts on what's going on and what I expect could happen based on past experience with the show. And then fast forward and preview some shows that are coming up for this week, and then give a DVD or streaming pick for something to check out at another time. It's fun.
Oh, very cool. So what is hot this week besides, of course, Robin Williams' death and Lauren Bacall? I guess she passed away as well.
Mm-hmm.
Although I don't know if that would be something you'd talk about on the TV Rewind. Was Lauren Bacall even on TV? I know she was in the movies.
She was. I'm opening her show notes right now, and I can tell you.
Okay.
As Google starts cooperating. It's really slow on this. She did start off on TV, I believe. Robin, of course, had a long career on TV as well. And there were a couple other people from TV that passed away last week also.
Oh, who? Pray
I can
tell.
you, but Google is being exactly.
That's okay. Oh, I got an email from optimizer.com, and they found some problems with catholicweekend.sqpn.com. Well, we'll just have to deal with that later. I'm trying to find our show notes that Miss Lynn Francisco prepared for us. Where did it go? Huh. All right. Well, continue. Is Google cooperating at all with you right now, Steph? Or
Yeah, it's
okay.
Now.
All right.
Charles Keating passed away, who was on Another World and had other TV roles.
Oh yeah, Charles Keating, a news journalist, right?
No, he was a soap actor.
And he did that as well.
And Irish actor J.J. Murphy, who was on Game of Thrones, also passed away. And Lauren Bacall and Robin Williams, of course. Arlene Martel, who was on Voyager's Star Trek. And Myrtle Young, who I don't have much information for that one, but my co-host put those two in, so I don't really know too much about those two.
It seems like when weather really gets warm, a lot of people end up passing away. Is it just my imagination? All of a sudden you hear like groups of people all leaving us?
You know, I worked, my high school job was as a nurse's aide, and I learned back then, working in a nursing home, and I'd learned back then that they always go in groups like that. It's just, there's something about it. We would have a small nursing home, maybe 40 people in this nursing home, and 3 of them would die right in a row within a week of each other, usually. And that's, for whatever reason, it's common. I don't know if we just happen to notice the patterns, or there's just something about kind of our human nature where that happens. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, very interesting. Well,
a lot of people say that bad things happen in threes.
Yeah, which is not really true.
I know.
They always say
started at some point. Somebody said that.
Yeah, they always say like air crashes are always in threes, but not really. Usually there are many more that we only hear about. Maybe 3 of them.
Well, I wonder too again how much of it is we notice that now. Because
what is that term? I mean what is that called? That phenomenon. Like when you're shopping for a car and you're looking at a certain model of car, and then all of a sudden you notice everywhere you're going,
everybody has that car.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's kind
There's
of
a
like
word for
hyper vigilance or something like that.
Yeah.
Awareness, yeah. So I know what you're talking about, but it's the same kind of thing. It's all this kind of stuff on the, something tragic happens. Like how many plane crashes were there after the Ukraine flight was shot? The flight over Ukraine was shot down. All of a sudden, everywhere there were plane crashes. Well, there probably were crashes, where no one was hurt. It was a simple, it ran off the runway or something, and it would never got reported, except.
Right.
Exactly. I mean, as part of, because I do this aviation show, I daily look at this thing called the Aviation Herald, and it kind of logs all these different emergencies and crashes and incidents all around the world. And yeah, they're happening all the time. It's just that nobody's really focusing on them at the moment.
Exactly. And I think it's the same kind of thing when it talks about with deaths. Now all of a sudden we're recognizing all these celebrity deaths because there was Robin Williams and the high profile of that one.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of high profiles, this week, thank you, Miss Lynn Francisco, for preparing the week ahead, and starting with today, August 16th, is the feast of Saint Stephen of Hungary. Are you hungry, Stephen?
I am, actually.
Okay, there we go.
Thank you for noticing.
Saint Stephen is Hungary. No, Saint Stephen of Hungary. Today is feast day, and let's see, tomorrow's the 20th Sunday in ordinary time. Monday, everybody has the day off as far as saints are concerned, because there's nothing on the saint schedule. That's kind of odd. August 19th, Tuesday, Saint John Eudes? I don't think I've ever heard of St. John Eudes. Do you know anything about him, Father Corey?
I don't off the top of my head. I recognize the name. You know, there's always the saints that you're kind of like, okay, I should know this one, but unfortunately, off the top of my head, I don't. However, fortunately, if you go to saints.sqpn.com, you can learn about him.
You know, we could. Wow, that's a great idea. You know,
That's a great site too. I mean,
it is.
It is a really good saint site. It is I always use it whenever I need to look up a saint. It's fantastic.
Let's see. I'm going to put in. I'm going to do a search for St. John Eudes and see how far up in the results. No, I don't see the saints at SQPN. Okay, let me try this. All right, there we go. If you put SQPN in there, it gets right at the top. He was a farmer's son who attended the Jesuit college at Caen, France, at age 14. And let's see. He was born in 1601 and died in 1680. And yeah, has a bunch of information about him there. Very cool. Okay. Well, let's get back to our list of saints. Oh, you've heard of that big dog that carries the booze in the little tiny wooden keg underneath its neck, Saint Bernard.
mm-hmm.
But that's not who this saint is. Saint Bernard is an actual human being, not a dog.
Mm-hmm.
And why did the dog breed get named for him? I wonder.
I think, as you know, it's funny. I don't remember all the details of the saints, but I do remember about the dog. I think supposedly the breed came from the original monastery that Saint Bernard founded, or in that area.
Oh.
I want to say it's something like that, where it's the dog was actually named in honor of him or in honor of the monastery he established, or something like that. I can't.
Well, go ahead and
remember
say it.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to find Saint Bernard in our SQPN Saints database, and wow, there's a bunch of results for Saint Bernard.
Yeah, we have a parish here of Saint Bernard of Clairvaux.
Oh, is it Bernard? I guess is the more correct pronunciation.
Well,
Yeah.
they say Bernard here.
Okay, Bernard. That makes more sense. Wow, there are a bunch of Saint Bernards.
Yeah.
Arce, Magnolia, Calvo, Carinola, Clairvaux.
Clairvaux is the one that we're celebrating, though. I know that. So.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. And he was it says a mellifluous doctor of the church. I hadn't realized he was one of the doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, very good. Okay, and then let's see. Moving on the 21st, Saint Pius X. And next, was it Friday, the Queenship of the Blessed Virgin Mary? Yes. Friday the 22nd. And then next Saturday, Saint Rose of Lima. So there you go. The liturgical week and saints right here on Catholic Weekend.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lynn.
Mm-hmm. Marika had just written in the chat room, the dogs are named for the St. Bernard Pass in the Alps.
Oh, there we go. I wasn't even close.
So the pass though is probably like the pass was probably named for Saint Bernard.
There we go.
And then the dog named for the pass, right?
There we go. Sounds good.
There's a connection there, I think.
That's our story. We're gonna.
As far as anybody knows, that's...
In case anybody was under the delusion that priests are perfect, I just broke that delusion.
I don't think any of us had that delusion.
No. Anybody who knows a priest knows that's not the case.
Well, speaking of priests and delusions, Father Roderick. I'm just kidding. He is he still on vacation in? Where is it?
Last I heard, he was in Croatia.
Croatia, that's right.
Wow.
I've been following his Facebook posts and putting a lot of beautiful pictures there on Facebook. If you don't already follow Father Roderick, you should. You can kind of get a little taste of what is going on in his vacation with his fellow priests.
Seems like a very beautiful country, and I've noticed, they have a very distinctive flag. It has a little part of the flag is this red and white checkerboard on it. And so it always catches my attention. And I saw that flag at World Youth Day. I've seen it in St. Peter's Square. I mean, I think they seem to be very faithful, passionate people.
They
I'd
do.
like to go there someday.
Another place on Steven's bucket list, right?
Exactly.
Sure.
Sure.
I don't like bucket lists, though. They seem a little too self-centered, you know. This is
Yeah.
what I'm going to do.
Yes, it's that time. The picks of the week. Who would like to enlighten us first with their pick?
Well, I can go first. I've got one. I'm going to steal a TV one from Stephanie. I have been, since I'm a kid, a huge fan of Doctor Who. I watched the old classic ones when I was a kid on PBS. The ones that everybody says, oh, they're so cheesy. Yeah, but I loved them as a kid. You know, they were so much fun. And on Saturday, the new season of Doctor Who starts up with the new Doctor and everything. So I'm looking forward. Yeah, she's looking forward to it too. So, and interesting today, the apologist Jimmy Akin, who's on Catholic Answers, who is also a big science fiction geek, he's got a podcast, or not a podcast, but a blog, Let's Watch Doctor Who, where he's going through and he's watching all the episodes that exist, starting from the beginning. Unfortunately, some of the very early Doctor Who's were deleted and thrown away by the BBC back in the 70s. So as far as we know, they don't exist, though they keep finding them every once in a while, copies of them elsewhere throughout the world. So if you're not sure what this whole Doctor Who thing is about, you could go to that blog that he's got set up, and I put it in the show notes, so the link to the show notes, so it can be added to the recording here, or added to the post here, and you can find out, you can see from the beginning where Doctor Who came from.
Yeah, Jimmy Akin is a huge Doctor Who fan.
Yep.
Excellent.
So I'm looking forward to that next Saturday, getting to watch Doctor Who again, new Doctor Who's again.
Who?
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Well, thank you for your pick. How about let's go with Stephanie? Do you have a pick for us?
I actually do, via Twitter, via Joanne, who was on the show last week. She tweeted out this link. Speaking of Robin Williams, as we were earlier in the show, she sent out an article. An article was written about him and about the whole idea of celebrity death and why it's different than a soldier who was killed or anything like that. It's very interesting. Brings a different kind of perspective, and there's been all kinds of articles this week, but this is a pretty interesting one. It's by Sister Rose Paquette, I think is how you say her name, and she's a daughter of St. Paul in Los Angeles and has like a movie blog. So this is from the National Catholic Reporter, so I will link that in the notes.
Excellent. Thank you, Stephanie. And again, as you just mentioned, all that information will be available in the show notes. Steve, do you have a pick for us this morning?
Well, not really. But what I would like to do is give a shout out to the new rector of our cathedral, and we've had the same rector, Father Monsignor Gear, has been there for 18, 19 years. And they just named a new one, and it's actually a priest that I worked with at the Newman Center at the University of Tulsa, and he's a Nigerian priest, and his name is Father Jovita Okonkwo, and he's a wonderful priest, and I think it's a really interesting choice by our bishop, and I think he's going to do wonderful things there. So a shout out to the new rector of Holy Family Cathedral in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Father Jovita.
Congrats to him.
Yes, indeed. And finally, last and least, it's my pick of the week. And now this is a little different than what we usually do. It has nothing to do with Catholicism or TV or anything, but it has something to do with something that many of us do every single day, and it's shaving. And many men out there shave their face, and I've been using this now for a couple of years, and I really love it. It's called Shave Secret,
Oh, cool.
and it's a secret. No, it's it's a little bottle, and it's like essential oils, and you just take like 3 drops of it and drop it on your hand. You know, you wet your beard, and then you just kind of rub it against your hands, and you put it on your beard, and it gives me the best results for shaving. That better than using like the shave gels and that kind of thing. So I was sitting there this morning shaving, and I'm thinking, what am I going to use today for my pick of the week? And I thought, you know what? It's kind of odd, kind of unusual, but I really do highly recommend this. I buy it at Walmart, and it's like $3.82, and it lasts a long time. It's just a little vial, and I mean, I'm a little vial too, but it really works well for shaving, and it's just and it leaves your face all nice and fresh. Feeling.
I like the fact that it's under 3 ounces, and you can carry it on board the plane with you.
And that's another reason why I use it.
I really hate those tiny little cans of shaving cream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's for everyone. I think that I think Chris, my son, tried it, and I don't think it worked as well for him and his skin type and acne and that kind of stuff. But I love it. It almost makes it impossible to cut yourself unless you really try. But check it out. It's probably at a Walmart near you. And Shave Secret. Now the secret's out. They're going to have to change the name. And no, I'm not receiving any kind of a kickback or anything.
Promotional consideration.
Promotional consideration.
But I was going to look and see if it was on Amazon, but Amazon's not loading either today.
But Amazon, it is on Amazon. You can get it there as well. But if you do have a Walmart, they're in the shave section. But if anybody out there is listening who is a representative of this company, let's talk. So anyway, that is my pick of the week. And Lynn, or Mike, whoever's taking the notes, I'll put a link in the well, guess what it is? At www.shavesecret.com. And,
wow.
Yeah, it's provides the most comfortable, smooth shave that dramatically reduces dry skin, rashes, nicks, cuts, ingrown hairs, and shaving bumps. Hey, for you girls, shaving the bikini line is a breeze. Shave Secret takes the place of all shave creams, soaps, gels, aftershave, and moisturizing lotions.
Get the point, Jeff.
Is it time to go now? Have I mentioned Altoids? It's my backup pick of the week.
Yeah.
And brought to you by American Express. Oop, I better not show that. That has my number on it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I better cancel that right now.
Well, hopefully everybody else sees you as blurry as I am, because you couldn't even tell it was an American Express card.
Okay,
much less
good.
Number, so.
Good. All right. Well, it is that time of the show for us to end this train wreck. So, Steph, since you are well, both you and Father Corey are our guests today, but let's start with you, Stephanie. Again, how we can find out more about your podcast and follow you on Twitter and all that kind of stuff. What will we do?
Yeah, the podcast is at tvrewindpodcast.com, and like we talked about, it's every week, recording on Sunday, and been a lot of fun. And my Twitter is ANGELSTEPH.
Angel Steph.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you, Stephanie, for joining us on short notice this morning. And Father Corey, what would you like to plug this morning?
Well, my website where I do my homilies is frcory.org, and my Twitter, Facebook, etc. You can usually find me on most of those things is Corey Stika. Last name spelled Sticha.
And it's pronounced Stika.
Yep.
Okay. Is that Czech?
It is Czech. That's why I'm looking forward to going to the Czech Republic. Might get to go see some of my old homeland.
Ah, and you can check that box.
Ba-doom-bam.
And Steve?
Yes.
Everything Esteban?
Everythingisdaybun.com. Although I'm very sad that I haven't updated it in the last couple of weeks. I've been so buried. It's amazing.
Hey, sometimes life gets in the way, right?
Yeah. I hopefully I'll have some time this weekend, maybe tomorrow, to do some work on it. So check it out. Everythingisdaybun.com.
Excellent. And finally, Captain Jeff, the airline pilot guy, airlinepilotguy.com. Check it out. All right. Well, that's it. So hope everybody enjoyed the show this morning. Again, thanks for everyone joining us in the chat room. Mike Kuipers chipping in, taking some notes for Lynn Francisco this morning. And Lynn, thanks for preparing the doc and all that kind of stuff. So everybody, I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here again next week on Catholic Weekend. Take care, and God bless.
Bye.
Cedric said bye.
Yeah. And rather chatty today.
Yeah, he is. All right.
My girlfriend.
All right, the recording is stopped, and we're still broadcasting, though, so thanks again, everybody, for bearing with us at the beginning of the show. I guess finally everything started settling down.
It's been a while since we've had a real tough time like that.
Yeah, it is.
Must be that new computer of yours.
It must be.
There you go.
I'm sure it's my fault. It's got to be.
Just send it to me. I'll fix it. It might take a while to get it back, but yeah.
Okay, sure. It'll be right in the mail.
Yeah, exactly.
The book's in the mail. All right. Hey, Steph, did you get a chance to try out the new setup with the Skype and Hangouts working simultaneously?
Not since we tried it, but I think it'll be good tomorrow.
Well, hopefully it'll work. Oh, that's right. You record on Sunday. All right. Well, good luck with that. All right. Father, again, thanks for joining us on short notice.
Oh, always glad to. Always glad to.
And perhaps next week we'll have the regular gang all assembled, except for Angela. I think she's going to be out another week. I think she was going to be gone for about 3 weeks. So, anyway.
I might miss one of the upcoming weekends. I'm going to try to take some vacation, and I don't know where I'll be.
Okay. Well, you'll have to let us know. And if you're somewhere where you can join us and you have a laptop, don't you?
Yes.
No? Yeah, okay. So
yes.
Maybe you can join us on location from wherever you are.
Perhaps.
Don't forget hotelwifitest.com.
Why is it hotel specific? I don't understand.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Because it doesn't work anywhere else. No.
I guess it's like somebody trying to do like a speed test thing, but they're trying to make it hotel specific so that when people travel, they can go and they're kind of building up a database of cities with the various hotels and which ones have the best internet and that kind of thing. So I guess
I could see it being a legitimate concern if someone wants to have a conference where they're going to need internet access, good reliable internet access. They could go to that and say, oh, hey, this the Hilton has poor, but the Holiday Inn has good access.
Right.
We'll have to book at the Holiday Inn.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, there's been some CNMCs where that has been an issue.
Yep.
Imagine.
Yes, it has.
Things outside of our control.
Yep. Okay, look, Lynn is finally joining us.
Of course, she'll hear this in about 6 minutes, I think she said.
Yeah, I'm back. What did I miss? Hey, Lynn. 30 seconds from now, you shall be hearing me say that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and shut her down and get the audio edited and move on with the weekend. And I'm going to see if Chris is still here. If he hasn't left yet, I'll say goodbye and wish him good luck on the road.
Yeah. Tell him I said hi.
I'll do that. All right, kids. Thank you again, and we'll see you again later.
Bye.
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 Thanks for being here.
Bye.